said on like yesterday's video that I was gonna like post like this, but like my throat was kind of like hurting a bit, so I didn't post anything. It feels a little bit better now, so we're just gonna do it now. Yeah, no. So this is the sixth installment of the basically UFC weight classes like joke tier list. We got the welterweights, and just kind of like just from based on like what this is. This was honestly like one of the harder ones for me to pick. But like after a while, from looking at the looking at the rankings, I was kind of like, you know what? Most of these guys are pretty boring. So that's what we're gonna use. We're basically going through down the entire order, basically ranking them on like, basically like how entertaining they are, just as like people. It could be from fight skills. It could be from like press conferences. It could be just from like anything, like Twitter, trash talking, like just in general. The concept of like them being boring. And we're first gonna start with okay, computer went black. That's kind of crazy, but that's not boring. However, unlike our first off list, Bilal Muhammad, snoozer. Okay, like the way he like does like his like pre-fights, like hype up, build up, all that sort of stuff, accompanied by the fact that it's like he like has like he like barely gets like knockouts at all, and just like his fight style is very like decision based. However, I will say he did have a pretty dominant decision victory over like Leon Edwards, who we're gonna talk about next. But like, but like from that, it kind of moves him from like the high top of snoozer to like maybe like low snoozer. And speaking of his victim, Leon Edwards, top of snoozer, dude literally is inactive most of the time. Talked a lot of shit to Colby Covington, who basically insulted his dad. It only resulted in them having like a decision victory. Like, are we not gonna talk about that? Like the shit's wild. Like come on. Like he literally said like your dad's like running in hell. Like come on. Like if my dad's gonna talk about that, oh no. Like I'm knocking him out as fast as humanly possible. But like no, just kind of like oh let me take my time and basically just like be boring. Like that's not like that is just not cool, Leon. And plus also just like the way he talks is just kind of like boring. Just everything about him is like it's pretty boring. So yeah, no. So he automatically deserves to be top of snoozer. Really, only really has like 70% fights. Not really. Next up is Kamaru Usman. Kamaru for like no. He's not there. The distinctive move. Shotgun get out. Get down there. Kamaru for activity alone, he is definitely above like he's definitely below like any of the categories just for how active he is. But like a lot of them were like decisions. He was mainly more of a grappler, and also just like plus the fact that it's like he also wasn't really a trash talker. He didn't bring that entertainment to it. So because of that, I would say like a bit boring. Next up is Shafkat, which I would probably say is like the lowest. Like he's like the lowest bit boring guy. Because fighting style wise, this dude like basically like destroys everyone. He beats everyone. He like doesn't he basically has like 100% finish rate. However, the problem is the fact that he cannot speak a lick of English. If he could speak English, he would be not boring. However, since he can't speak English, everything kind of like fails because of that, and because of that, he has to be a bit boring. However, I'm comparing this to like the rest of the roster, so it's just kind of like because of that, it's kind of like there's only like so much we can really like do with that. Next up is Colby Covington. I'd say he's boring. More of a decision guy. Mainly relies on his wrestling. Striking is sloppy. Trash talk is getting a little bit old. The stick of it is like not really there. So because of that, I just think like he doesn't really like should be it. However, when is in his prime, kind of considering that as like a totality, I feel like he does enough to not be considered like in our snoozer category. But he is still kind of boring. I ain't gonna lie. Next up is Jack Della Maddalena. Uh, Probably would say he deserves deserves to be. He's not boring. One of the first like couple like not boring fighters. He has like the same thing as like Shavkat, very entertaining boxing, very good stuff. But the difference is that it's the language. Jack Dale can speak English. Shavkat can't. Like literally, if Shavkat could speak English, they would be on the same tier. However, because of the language barrier, it just further proves why Shavkat should be here and Jack Dale and Manolena just from like styles alone. Like he eat the crap out of the next guy we're gonna talk about, which is Gilbert Burns. In a very entertaining style, boxing is very crisp, very much like a mess, and just like talks his shit all the time, which I appreciate. Next up is Gilbert Burns. Pretty boring, and I say he's pretty boring, mainly just because of the fact of he was hyped up to be like a four-time like champion, like jiu-jitsu specialist. Doesn't get any submissions. He, yeah, he has like 9 submissions, which I get that, but at the same time, it's just kind of like for how good for how much submissions he get, he should be getting a lot more submissions than that. He lost Super Wall via decision. He lost Super Wall via decision and got knocked out by Medellina. He doesn't like he basically just utilizes jiu-jitsu more as like a positional control, not like a oh I'm actually gonna try to like submit you and win this match. No, he just basically is just a merchant. He just doesn't. He just overall just kind of like a little boring. Ain't gonna lie, he's pretty boring to watch fight. Honestly. Next up is Ian Gary. In terms of me wanting to see him get his life shut out, I would say he's at the very bottom of this list. However, in terms of everything, for I say like a Kobe level. His style's boring. He's the same type as Kobe, but just the striker version of it. You know, like it makes sense. Like Kobe's boringness comes from the fact that his grappling, well, Ian Gary comes from the fact of his striking. So it's just like they're both the same type of boring, and like trash talking's like very overrated. Ian Gary's really just a cook, so it just kind of like doesn't really like respect that. So yeah, like honestly, I think that's probably should be like a pretty fair ranking for it. Honestly, next up is Sean Brady. Sean Brady, he doesn't get a lot of like finishes. Like half of his matches are in finishes. So like he got knocked out by Malal. However, he submitted Gastelum. I'm trying to think. Also, isn't like super active as of recently. He fights once a year, but still not super active. I say he's like no, not there. I say top a bit boring, honestly. I say top a bit boring. Next up is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Not boring. Give this thing low. Not boring. Can he load in, please? Load in. Damn it. There you go. Easily not boring. And the reason why I say he's not boring is because he doesn't trash talk, but like he deserves it just for the pure style of like how he fights. That karate style, just his stance, his footwork, his kicking, all that sort of stuff. Very entertaining. However, he doesn't really trash. He doesn't really get trash talk, but he's also such a nice person to where it's kind of like it makes you more like wanting to watch him because he's like very nice. He does like kind of the opposite of like the standards of trash talk. Like he does like his own way, and that's kind of entertaining. At least for me, it is. So it's like I think for that, I think we should honestly like consider that. I honestly personally consider that. And again, I feel like he should be top of it because yeah, he does the trash talk, and like yeah, he also does try to like Kamaru, but Stephen Thompson has a better style than Kamaru, so that's honestly why I feel like it should be. Let's see. Next up is Jeff Neal. Honestly, for for it, honestly, for like Jeff Neal, he just recently he's been like a bit boring, kind of boring. Like hyped up basically like a knockout artist because of like his name is literally Hands of Steel, which I mean makes sense. He has 9 knockouts, which is 60% of all of his wins. But at the same time, like recently, it's been like decision. He only has one knockout in the past like 4 years. Yeah, he has one knockout in the past 4 years. Everything else has been decision or he got submitted by like Shafkat. So yeah, he's boring. He's kind of boring. However, I think for the Ian Gary thing, that that matchup between them, it was more Ian Gary's fault for why the match ended like that. So because of that, Jeff Neal will be at the bottom of boring, but he's still boring. Next up, Joaquin Buckley. Not boring. He suffers from as Keisha Chavez likes to does it, the Chandler syndrome. So because of that, he does a lot of dumb shit. However, it's for the pure sake of entertainment, and I absolutely respect that. So because of that, that's what's up. For example, like he did like a guy caught his kick. He jumped up and back kicked him like off a spinning back kick. That was insane. Like honestly, that was super crazy. I really enjoy that highlight. It's one of my more favorite highlights in like knockouts to see. And like, yeah, no, honestly, it's just kind of like I think he's like he's very entertaining to watch, and I kind of like it. Next up is Neil Magny. Honestly, my opinion, he just needs to retire. He just like, and when I'm saying needs to retire, not because of skill, but just because of just like age. Like he's 37. Like all the stuff beforehand was he got a KO win, he got a split decision win, but it's like submission. Decision. He only had like he was on like no, he submitted someone. My phone for Rodriguez, which is no next up is Cynthia Luque, but that's the point. No, but just like Neil Magny, just like he's really been on like a losing streak, and he's kind of just making him a little bit boring. So I think because of that, should probably like be in pretty boring. So that's also my opinion of it. Next up is Vicente Luque, the Silent Assassin, which honestly makes sense for him because this dude's quiet, and he also got KO'd by Joaquin Buckley and Jeff Neal, and lost in one decision, and also lost small. Got submitted twice. So I wouldn't say he's boring. No, I wouldn't say he's boring. I would say like he basically got sacrificed to Joaquin Buckley. So because of that, I think he should be like a bit boring because at least he gets like finishes. Like he has 19 finishes, only like 3 decisions, but he also has 10 losses. I think that should be considered for like a bit boring. Next up is Michael Venom Page. I would say not boring, but I would say like not boring, like because it's like come on, like the Pokeball thing when he KO someone, he rolled the Pokeball over them. That was pretty funny. I really enjoyed that. Thought it was hilarious. And then just his style, just like his Taekwondo heavy, constantly switching stance style. It was really fun to like watch. So like, yeah, no, I think that's honestly kind of like a valid reason. At least I feel like it should be like he's a very entertaining fighter. Honestly, me personally, I personally would have matched him up. I mean, like, yeah. Again, the thing is, like, he had a boring match against Ian Gary, but at the same time, that's like you have a grappler who's already kind of boring, going against a guy guy who doesn't grapple at all. But everything else is kind of entertaining. But you know what? Because of the grappling factor, we're gonna move him. We're gonna put him above Thompson. We're gonna put him above Thompson. Maybe because Thompson only got submitted once by this absolute menace over here. But like Michael, but Page basically just getting like wrestle mantled by Ian Gary over here. So it was just kind of like, I think that match also again, like the Jeff Neal fight, more on Gary than the opponent. But like that's like my opinion. I think Michael Page is pretty like entertaining fighter. And then last but not least, Kevin Holland. He quits in some of his matches. However, he does fight a lot. He trying to think. Honestly, I'd say like Trash Talking is pretty solid. He fights super often. I put him here. I put him here. Yeah, sounds about right. Looks about right. And yeah, no, that's honestly it for like the tier list. This is kind of like what my order is. So like yeah, no, make sure to like, subscribe,